And go. Doug, what's up, my friend? How are you, brother?
Going on?
So we got the sound all fixed up. How's everything down in the Florida region?
You in
Yeah,
the northeastern region?
yeah, it's way colder. It's already starting to get chilly outside.
Oh,
But
sweet.
it's cool. I'll visit you soon.
Yeah, please. Got a space. Well, actually, this office would be your space if you stay with us.
Done. I'm locked in.
Groovy.
So you were just up here this week, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I just missed I didn't stay for the boot camp, but I was there for the RTC, or
Nice.
a day and a half of it.
What I missed, man? What was your big question?
My question was just talking about some of the resources. Heidi and I pivoted a little bit, so we talked about just sort of the resources that I have, she has, how to kind of blend it together.
Yep.
It's tough because we're so different yet so similar at the same time, and just finding the best way to capitalize on all we do and do it in a way that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah. So in what manners? I know you guys do coaching, right?
Yeah. So her focus is mostly on dysfunctional families, people who are, growing up with ACOAs, narcissistic family, parents and spouses and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's more about the, sort of relational in the family side, whereas my focus is more on the intrapersonal and how to take your best to your business, but also to your personal life and so forth. So it's just finding a way to make that all work.
Yeah. All right. So I know you guys are coaches. So she's working more on the personal family side. You're working on self-development. It's like really like, hey,
And
you like
business. Yeah,
improving business.
exactly.
So how we really connected though is you're also in a real estate.
Yes.
Is
A
that
little
right?
bit. I'm a little bit, I'm growing.
Yeah.
Doing what I can to step it up. I'm looking to go big.
Yeah. So you do have a couple of rental properties right now, or you had
Yeah,
one?
4 doors.
Four doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say four doors though, you own them as single families.
Yes. Yeah. I know you multi guys don't call that investing. It's
Oh
gambling.
no, no, that's investing. It's like to me that's uh four closings for four doors. It's a lot of closings for
Right.
that many
Well,
doors.
and when I first started, my plan was to be a side hustle, to do one or two a year. I wasn't thinking in bulk,
Yeah.
in short term. I was thinking it was a long game, right? So if every year I got one or two, got them paid off in the next 15 years or so, as part of a retirement plan, there you got 20 doors paying 1,000, 1,500 bucks a month. That's reasonable passive income.
Right.
But now, because the way things have changed, and I'm starting to enjoy it and hanging out more with guys like you, I'm like, okay, I got to step up my game and do this a little smarter here. And just like you said, yeah, like it takes the same amount of effort. It's just a different mindset.
Right. So how did you get into it? So you realized there was a retirement plan, or did you have one? You decided to rent it out, but you like how did you decide to rent the first one?
Oh, that was my intention.
Okay.
So I always wanted to do it, and I guess like many people, we have that idea, like, oh, it'd be awesome. Let's have some, I'd like to have some real estate, right? It's never going out of style.
Right.
And all the most successful people I know own real estate, and that's where they, even if they're doctors or lawyers or what have you, they're making their big money on real estate, not as a doctor, lawyer, et cetera. They use their money to leverage and buy real estate. So I always wanted to do it. And then, like, I'm sure you've dealt with this with some of your clients or people you've worked with, and even yourself at one point, before you bought your first property, there was always that thought, like, oh, that'll be nice. But
Yeah.
and then I just, a few years ago, I just said, that's it. We have to do it. Gonna do
Yeah.
it. And once you decide, it's amazing how things start opening up. Like, once I made the decision, I was like, that's it. Whatever it takes. I called my friend, David Dweck, he's a great, great friend of mine. He's one of my best friends, but he's also an investor, a hard money guy. So he does a little bit of everything. And so I called him up. I said, I'm ready. What do I need to do? And I just took his advice. I just closed my eyes and I was like, dove in, because he's like, it's good. jump in. The water's good.
Yeah, just let's go do it. Let's go sell some real estate. It was that was kind of how you dove in.
Pretty much. And I said, I'm ready. He said, okay. And like within a couple of days, he called me up. He said, okay, I have something. It's a good deal. It was actually a short sale that he was just really generous. He just passed it through. He made a little bit, but he said, I was going to buy it, but I'll give it to you. I'll just take a commission on the sale and just pass it through to me. And, you know, that was the beginning. What was interesting is I know we have our own fears, right? So we're kind of like, oh, you know, what if this, that, or what have you.
Yep.
But then I had to come home and tell my wife, like, hey, we're going to do this. And she's like, another mortgage?
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah, but it's not quite like that. I mean, it's going to pay for itself. Like, it's not like, I mean, yes, we owe it, but we're going to have a tenant. Right. And we've had the same tenant, and she's been great. And then, so after the first one, she felt a little better, saw it was working. And then about a year later, it was like, okay, you know, all right, ready. Got it. Dave, let's do another. Yep. And and I'm trying to remember why I did private money on that one. Because I was still working. I had a W-2, but
right.
I don't remember. We did it with a HELOC, and I did some private money. And, the other one I did conventional, and then so we did private on that, and then it worked out great. And then
you've done private, conventional, HELOC, little hard money. So you've kind of mixed it around. You've done a couple of the really common strategies and some uncommon strategies.
Yeah, and I guess what's so interesting is like even when I talk to some of my friends, they like I have guys like you who are friends who are like way past me as far as, you know, your sophistication and what you know. But then other people, when I say like HELOC or, you know, private money or whatever, like they're like, what?
Yeah, what is that? What is that? So, all right, yeah, you're right. Some people don't know. So what is a HELOC? If you're to define somebody,
the HELOC, home equity line of credit. So essentially I took my house I live in, and we had a bunch of equity in it. And I said, well, that's not serving us, just sitting there. So took it out and used that to put, actually a little other thing is part of that money with the HELOC I bought my car with.
Oh, no way.
Because you can write off the HELOC.
Right.
Interest payments. You can't write off interest payments on a car.
Right.
So for anyone out there who's thinking of taking out a loan to buy a car, that's another option, another strategy, because you don't have to, you'll get about the same rate, but you get to write it off. So it's better. I digress.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
You know, it's just little things. And so anyway, so I did that. And then now since I don't, so that we got that house with that. And we did so I did private money. I used the HELOC for the down payment and the any like updating it needed, the renovations, which wasn't much. I think bought it for $132 or whatever, and then put 15 into it. And so we put it in AC, painted everything, you know, like did you know, basic stuff. And
lipstick. You just put the little lipstick on.
It wasn't a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, floors, they carpeted everything and some floors, but nothing crazy. And we're got $1,500 and now $1,575.
Nice.
And the private money I got from my dad at 5%.
Nice.
So, which is awesome. And I get to, I'm in the process of about to refi it because it's already gone up quite a bit.
Yep.
I'm going to refi that to use that to leverage to now do some flips, or if I find a multi that makes sense to just for more cash.
Right.
And then the other two that I got with hard money.
Yep.
And it made sense. Obviously it's a harder set of numbers to meet when you're borrowing at 10%.
I borrowed at 16%. So you know what? 10's not that bad.
You're borrowing at 16?
I still have one mortgage that's a 16. Or actually, I think I paid it off. I think we still have one at 14 though.
Why aren't you doing a refi to get it down?
So we'll refi that one. We will.
Okay.
They're multifamilies. We're holding them for a while. We were thinking about flipping it. And then at some point we said, you know what, let's just hold this thing. It's a 4-family. It's cash flowing. Let's actually keep it. It's got room to make a 5th unit on top. So
now where is that?
This is Fall River, Massachusetts.
Okay. So in Mass, can you, do you have to season before refining?
Yeah, so you season 2 years.
2 years. Oh, we're only 6 months here.
That's a cash out refi. So
Okay.
to refinance in normal, yeah, 6 months, 3 months,
Okay.
we can refi that way.
Got it. All right.
But we were looking at doing a cash out refi, so we were willing to wait a little bit longer.
Got it.
And actually, it's September is the month we're able to do it now. So we just started
Cool.
getting the ball rolling on it.
Right on.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. I'll be glad not to pay 14% on that thing.
Yeah.
It's $100,000 note, so it's not that bad. The building pulls in nearly $3,000 a month, so it's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
you're
killing
fine.
us.
Yeah. You're still cash positive, but
But we'll say like $400 a month, so
yeah, that's awesome.
it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. New leverage.
So, yeah, man. So talking about the book, right? So when I started, I was exactly where you're talking about when you started, right? It was that first one was fearful. So did you know I wrote a book, Doug? Did you see that?
I was aware, but yes, I love the yes, that was very graceful how you brought that in. I love it.
See that segue?
Yeah.
You wrote a book.
Yeah. So I haven't.
I heard you wrote a book, man. I haven't gotten a copy. I gotta send you a copy. We'll swap.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
There it is. Under construction. Nice. And what is this one about?
So this is essentially about breaking free from addiction, and it's not just addiction to substances. So it was interesting. In very short terms, my first career was in music. Peak of my career is when Napster came out, so I had to reinvent myself. I ended up going on the road with Tony Robbins. I'm trained by Tony. I'm trained by the guys that train Tony. I'm a master practitioner and trainer of neurolinguistic programming and neo-Ericksonian hypnosis.
All right. So you and Tony Robbins are buds.
Well, yeah, he knows me.
Right.
I don't have his phone number.
All right.
But yeah, but when we see each other, it's like, yay. But anyway, so when I was on the road with Tony, I ended up down in Florida living here, and I needed a space to hold events. Long and short of it is, a friend of mine introduced me to a mutual kind of Tony world friend, and like, he's got a space. I'm sure he'll let you use it. Yeah. So I did, and I went there. He had like an auditorium that held a couple hundred people, and it was a treatment center. Yeah. And so I spoke there, and I did my thing, and he was like, "Whoa, this is what's missing. This is what we need. What are your plans?" And, when I spoke to Tony, Tony's like, "What, you're going to work for me forever? The deal is, like, we do this. You did for me what I did for Jim Rohn. Yeah. So, go do your thing."
Yeah.
So I did. So I ended up working at the treatment center for my wife and I for about 8 years. Yep. And what we noticed was drugs and alcohol are not the problem, right? They become a problem, but they didn't start as a problem, because once you take the drugs and alcohol out of off the table, you're still back to where you were that got you in the mess in the first place. And so what that really boils down to is what people are addicted to are states, our emotions, our fear, right? So as an example, I'm sure when you were first getting into real estate, it wasn't hard to find other people who were scared to take action and buy their first property.
Right. So it's still not hard to find those people.
Right, of course. So you could sit there and get addicted to that fear.
Right.
By hanging out with them all the time and worrying about what they think, and basically get rewarded for not taking action, for telling that story. It's too hard. The timing's not right. I have no money. I have no time. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And hang out with people. We get addicted to it. It actually gets lodged in our nervous system.
Yeah.
So that's really what the book is about kind of looking at wherever you are is a direct result of whatever you've been addicted to.
Yep.
What emotions, what story you've been telling, what strategies you've been running. And so it's not about just substances. Some people get addicted to shopping. They get addicted to the internet, which is now in the DSM-5, which is the diagnostic tool for insurance.
No way.
You can go to a treatment center for addiction to internet.
I'd say I have an addiction to buying real estate. So
quality problem.
It's been
that is a quality addiction, right?
Right.
However, of course, it would be an issue. Like, we would need to do an intervention if other areas of your life were suffering.
Right.
So,
all right, Doug, we're gonna get a call after this.
Right. Yeah.
Because my romantic life, let me tell you, I'm like, I'm going to work right now.
Oh boy, are you in a relationship?
Nah, man, it's just so much easier not to be. But I don't want to put that negativity out there. So, in fact, I'm taking that back. Hold
Yeah.
on. I would say
Okay.
I'm in between real estate purchases, and when I finish this up, I'll get back on that train.
Okay. Well, and so exactly. So that's the kind of coaching that I do, is to work with people to find that balance,
Right.
because it is possible, right?
Of
It's once
course.
you make it a priority, once you make a decision, you figure it out. But it does require awareness. It does require adopting, celebrate what works and add what's missing. So that would be, if we were, working together on that capacity, though, that would be the kinds of, direction we'd be going into, is kind of look at what you're doing so well and then model that in other areas of your life.
All right. So you're going to give me some dating advice. I'll give you some real estate advice.
There
Well,
you go.
this is how this relationship's going to go. You're going to be buying these big multifamilies. And I'm going to have these beautiful ladies on the side of me who are all about real estate purchases and driving those Lambos. I love it. So, dude, what do you got coming up next, man? Where are you going next in life? What's the big goal you're working on right now? Now that you and your wife are kind of figuring out like your niches.
Yeah. So what's happening is I took an opportunity, a summer gig with Tony Robbins, because he lives here and there's an event coming up in Miami. So I basically took my old job back with Tony for the summer, and November 7th through 10th will be the event. So
which one? What are the dates?
November 7th through 10th. It's Unleash the Power Within. That's Tony's 3-day, like his flagship event, like where we do the fire walk and all of that.
Yeah.
So what we're working on now is my program, which is the Freedom Hack for Life. So basically what that is creating the freedom to create the life that you desire, that you want to experience. And it's all about creating the Rockstar Legacy. So when you think about rock stars, what do they have? They have the ultimate freedom to be themselves. They have freedom to travel, freedom to contribute, freedom. It's all about like having the ability, the opportunity to live that life. So we got to start with the fundamentals. So that Freedom Hack is the fundamentals. So that program is rolling out shortly. So it's a Freedom Hack for Life, LYFE.
And how do people find out about that? Is there a website or?
Well, yeah, revolutionarygrowth.com will have that, and then we're going to rebrand that on there. But the tab is on there. Will be on there for now, because that's the site that's already built.
Definitely text that to me, because I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. So if anybody's looking for how to get more about you, like I'll put that link in there, so it's easy to find.
Right on. Thank you.
So I saw, and I know you have a lot going on, so I want to hear all of it. But the other day I saw a video where you were walking on glass.
Yes.
So
that
it's not legitimate. Were you actually walking on glass?
Yeah. That's one of the breakthroughs that I do. So not only do I do fire walks, with Tony, and we do our own, I also do glass walks where it's not just me walking on it. That just happened to be the video that they sent me of me doing it. But I just walk first to show people, like, hey, you're not going to die.
But you are going to walk on glass.
But you are going to walk on glass, yes, in your bare feet. We do fire eating, board breaking, the rebar bending, arrow bending with the neck. Like, I incorporate breakthrough experiences into, all that we do, because what it does is it creates an experience in your nervous system.
Yep.
Right? Because here's the challenge. Most people spend a lot of time installing negative patterns in their minds just by running the same thought over and over again. The fear, the conversation, playing the pictures of things failing, or, I'm sure you've heard this from people. I know with me it started too, and well-meaning people, like even with my mom. I'd be like, hey mom, I'm doing doing this real estate thing. She's like, well, I've had rental properties before, and you got to be careful with the tenants, right? Because, if you and just gives you the whole, and she means well, and she has owned properties in the past, and that's great. But then you hear that and you go, oh, and I start running that in your head. Yeah. So by having one of these experiences, whether it's walking on glass or fire eating or fire walking or board breaking, pin bedding, arrow breaking, whatever it is, you actually create an experience in your body.
Right.
That gives you the opportunity to drown out any of those conversations and replace it with something you've done, like you've experienced. You do it with other people, and now you're creating a tribe of people who know that you're willing to do whatever it takes. So it's really about building momentum towards your ultimate outcome of emotional, spiritual, financial freedom.
I love it, dude. So as I'm listening, I just did board breaking. We did Friday at Paul's event.
Yep.
And you go through it. I'm like, cry chop. No problem. I've done these a dozen times. But you see a little old lady, frail, like mentally she's struggling. You're like, oh, there's no way she's doing it. And boom, right through it. Like it's nothing. I'm thinking, because the first thing I heard when I started, probably the same thing, is, oh, you're going to be plunging all these toilets. I'm thinking plunger break, right? We get the plungers out, the wooden ones. It's a little, I don't know if it works. So I don't know. I got to make sure these things aren't solid.
Yeah. You'd probably find another strategy to do that. But yeah, there's certainly something there for sure.
But it's absolutely true, man. So it's cool. So you walk on the glass. What else you got coming up? You're doing this event with Tony Robbins. What else are you doing for your personal coaching, your training?
So Heidi and I have an event called Believe that's going to be in Delray Beach, Florida, the weekend of Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be a 3-day event. Pardon?
Is it a couples event?
It can be, but it's not for couples. It's the two of us sharing, but really we're going to get into what it takes to transform your belief system, right? Because beliefs ultimately end up being everything, right? Because what Henry Ford said, if you believe you can or believe you can't, either way, you're right. And it's so true. And that ties directly into your mindset, to what you're addicted to those stories that you tell, to the states that you've been habitually running. Right. So we're going to dive deep into that. So that's why it's called Believe. But we're also going to get really pragmatic. It's also going to be like an event of practical spirituality, so that we're really understanding how to utilize all the gifts that we've been given, to celebrate them and tap into them, right? Nice. The gifts of understanding on what we're possible, what we're capable of, the environments that we create, the difference, and how to utilize, masculine and feminine energy, or, in other words, chaos and order, right? So to really
hold on, which one's chaos? Which one?
Well, feminine obviously is the chaos, but that's not in a bad way. It's just is. And because think about it, what do men do? What do we want to fix stuff? Right. We want that certain, okay, tell me the problem, let me fix it. And women don't operate that same way. So, but if we just look at it from a natural perspective, and it's not necessarily, if we're looking at it and putting in a pigeonhole of masculine, feminine, because we each have masculine and feminine within us. Right. So it's really understanding how to tap into it. And, one of the things I do teach are Tony Robbins' 6 needs. And that's actually, part of the book, and how to utilize it. And there are these 2 opposing needs that we must meet. And that's a need for certainty and the need for uncertainty. And it's that balance, right? How do you jump out of a plane, that's very uncertain, but you do it with a parachute. And that parachute, if it's done properly, someone spent a lot of time and energy making sure that parachute is going to open, that it's going to, it's all right. So it's that juxtaposition of stepping into the realm of uncertainty with certainty, to be able to, go out and buy that multifamily property that's outside of your perhaps original comfort zone, but do it. No, hey, I can figure it out. Like I'm going to do it. And that's the balance of those 2 energies. But you got to really have a deeper understanding and appreciation of it in order to successfully do it. So that's what the event's going to be. It's a high level look at that event.
And when is that again?
The weekend of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day in it's also our anniversary. So it'll be Valentine's Day weekend, nice. Our anniversary. And it's going to be at a really cool place in Delray. And if anyone's, when they fly in, you can stay there. And we're not making any money on on staying there. You pay the rate that they have, but it includes food and it includes everything. And it's actually at a church, believe it or not. It's the back of a church. So it's where like the priests were staying at one point. So it's beautiful, like beautiful grounds and a great room, a pool, and all this stuff, but it's really private. So it's got a very cool vibe.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty
So
wild, man.
Yeah, it's not just a that we're incorporating this practical spirituality. It's kind of purposefully at this location as well.
Yeah. Doug, this is great stuff, man. So anybody who's looking to find out about you, what's the name of the website again?
So the two are revolutionarygrowth.com, and then Heidi's site is lovecoachheidi.com.
Lovecoachheidi.com. I'll have to get Heidi on here at one point.
We'll get you guys together. She's not home right now, but she'd love to. She's obviously a blast.
Yeah, I see you guys every morning doing the Instagram live, still killing it, still putting it out there. What is your Instagram handle if people want to follow you on there?
Doug6, DUGSIX.
All right.
Check this out. Here's what you guys could do. I don't know if you've seen this. If you text the word Doug, D-U-G, to the number 64600,
yep,
that'll send you a link to everything of ours. It'll be all my social, my email, phone number, websites, books, everything, all right there. So it's a pretty cool experience there.
So it's text Doug to what number? DUG
64600.
All right, shoot me a text with that too. I'll put that in the link. Guys, Gualter Amarelo, real estate mentor. Big thanks to Dug McGuirk for jumping on. Phenomenal real estate investor and life coach, and just a really good friend. So, Doug, I appreciate you, man. We'll,
Amen, brother.
When I'm ready to settle down with a good girl, I'm gonna hit you up. I'll let you know.
It'll be our privilege. And by the way, I'll be up there in New York this Friday for the book signing on Long Island. Obviously, you're not coming down, but
I might. Oh, yeah. Whether Friday or Saturday? Because Saturday I'm running the course. Friday night, maybe. Shoot me some information on that too. I'll put it all up.
Okay.
All right, brother.
You're on.
Cheers, man. Be good.